Alright, so for the first video, I'm going to offer some help for homework 17 for you guys. We'll see how this goes. Remember that this is not to give you the answer, this is to show you how to do the work. If you simply watch the videos to get the answer at the end, it's not going to help you when the exam comes around. Okay, so make sure you understand how to do this. Okay, so on homework 17, the first 4 questions are very similar. So I'm going to do number 4. Alright, so it says, determine whether 0, comma, -3 is a solution of the system x minus 4y equals -5 and -4x plus 3y equals -1. Okay, so remember, to do this, all we have to do is plug in the x and the y into each linear equation and figure out if it makes it a true statement. If it makes it a true statement, then this point is indeed a solution. Okay, so we'll start with the first one. X minus 4y equals -5. So x is 0, y is -3 equals -5. And if you're not sure where I got 0 and -3, I got them from the point right up here. Okay, so 0, get rid of that. So we have -4 times -3, which gives us positive 12. A negative times a negative is a positive, equals -5. Okay, already I can tell that 12 is not equal to -5. So that means that 0, -3 is not a solution for the linear equation, or for the linear system of linear equations that they give us. Cool. Alright, so for the next set of questions in homework 17, we have solving system of equations by graphing. Now, I know a lot of you don't like these because they take a lot of work, but if you take the steps slowly and you get them done, it's really not difficult. It's a little time consuming, yes, I agree, but it's not difficult. Okay, so in order to graph this, we have to get both of these equations into y equals mx plus b form. Okay, just a quick recap on what y equals mx plus b form is. The b is the y-intercept, and the m is the slope. Both of those are very important when we're doing this. Okay, so let's start with 2x plus 2y equals 4. So if you notice in y equals mx plus b form, the y is isolated. That is our goal here. Once we isolate the y, we will be in y equals mx plus b form. So we're going to move this 2x over to the other side, because again, we want y completely by itself. So these cancel out, and we're left with 2y equals 4 minus 2x. Now you can't combine those like terms because they are not like terms. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write them just as they are. So this is a negative 2x, and this is a positive 4. Okay, I didn't change anything. Now, we're much closer to y equals mx plus b form, but this 2 is still bothering the y. The y is not completely by itself, so we're going to divide by 2, and y equals -2 divided by 2x plus 4 over 2. Okay, so we can simplify this. -2 divided by 2 is -1, or just -x, same thing, plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so we have y equals -x plus 2. Now this is in y equals mx plus b form. We're done with that one. Okay, now x minus 2y equals 2. X minus 2y equals 2. Again, we have to do the same exact thing. Isolate the y. So we're going to get rid of the x, or at least move it to the other side, not get rid of it. Equals -x plus 2 divided by -2, all for the same reasons that we did to the first one. This is positive x over 2, so 1 over 2x. I'm sorry, 1x over 2. minus 1, because positive 2 divided by negative 2 gives you negative 1. Okay, just to clean this up a little bit, I'm going to write it again over here. Okay, so now we have our we have both of our equations in y equals mx plus b form. Alright, so now that I've got them both in y equals mx plus b form, I can graph them. I'm going to use two different colors so that you guys can see which graph is which line and where it is that they intersect. So we'll start with the top one. So let me just write y equals mx plus b form over here on the side. Remember that b is the y-intercept and m is the slope. Okay, so if we look at our first line, the y-intercept is, let me write it down here, the y-intercept is 0, 2. Okay, remember that all y-intercepts have an x of 0. Okay, and the slope is negative 1. Now slope is always in rise over run. Okay, so to make it easier for you, you might want to put it in a fraction. Remember that you can put any number over 1 and it would not change the value. Okay, so negative 1 over 1 is our slope. That means that the rise is negative 1 and the run is positive 1. Okay, so we're going to go down 1 to the right 1. Okay, so we'll start at 0, 2. And remember, this graph is hand drawn, so it might not be super accurate, but we should be able to get close to the answer. Okay, so 0, 1, 2 is right here, and then we'll go. Okay, so now we have to follow the slope. The rise, as we said before, was negative 1, so we go down 1 and then to the right 1. So if we go down 1 over 1, we are right here. Down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. Okay. Down 1 over 1. And we're all good. Again, it's a little off because this graph is hand drawn. But if you do it on my math lab, you should be fine since you guys have the tool there. Alright, so there is line 1. Now we're going to do line 2, where the y-intercept is 0, negative 1, and the slope is 1 over 2. So this one is a little bit easier to see because it's already in fraction form. So it's a rise over run, and since they're both positive, we've got up and to the right. Okay, so we start at 0, negative 1. 0, negative 1. And we're going to go up 1 over 2. And already we are at our point. So we don't have to graph any more of this. If you want to, you can. You can go up 1, 2 more over, and keep graphing. But once you find the point where the two lines intersect, you don't need to keep graphing anymore. That's just extra work. Okay, so now that we have our point, all we have to do is figure out what it is. So it's on the x-axis, which means that the y is 0 and the x is 1, 2, 2, 0. And that right there is our solution for the system of linear equations.